Hello, my name is Natalie Facey. I am the founder and host of the Preparing for Pregnancy After Loss podcast. I'm also the founder of a platform called Coaching for Birth Warriors, which supports those who've gone through the not so easy pregnancy journey in their healing, in preparing for a next pregnancy, in their rebirth, in reconnecting to their power. So I wanted to share two workshops that I'll be hosting in the month of July. They're called Thriving in Pregnancy After Loss. So the first workshop is going to be held on Wednesday, July 20th from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 8:30 p.m. The second workshop, the same topic. The difference is that partners are welcome to attend this second workshop. It's going to be held on Saturday, July 30th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll share more about why this is important. But firstly, I wanted to say congrats on the pregnancy. Congrats on getting to this stage of your journey. I know that the road might have been long and hard, either physically or emotionally or both. And so getting here is such a huge milestone. And even while you're here, it might feel as though you can't fully celebrate the pregnancy, you can't fully release and exhale because there is a fear that whatever happened before might happen again, whether it is a loss or some challenge during childbirth. There's a fear that this might show up again. Something else that I've noticed is that when this fear is in the body, it often isn't expressed, right? You might not feel as though you can express it or as though there's a safe space to express all of what you're feeling, right? It might be that family members judge you because they think that you should be happy or they think that you should be positive, or they can't fully grasp how difficult it is to go through every day of a pregnancy with uncertainty, with fear, with this feeling as though you're walking on eggshells, right? So I wanted to name that. And I wanted to name how challenging this journey can be and all that might come up, the fear, the anxiety, the uncertainty, the sense that you're alone as you're moving through it, even though your partner might be there, or even though there are people around you who are excited for you and who love you and who want to support you. This feeling as though you're going through it on your own, or the depths of what you're experiencing, you're going through that on your own. Okay. The other thing that I want to say about these heavy emotions is that they live in the body. There's nowhere else for our emotions to go but to be stored in the body. And what's called trauma is unhealed emotions. They're emotions that we either don't have the space, the time, the resources, the support in order to work through, in order to release. And so they're just held in the body until that time comes. The challenge with this is that while these unhealed emotions, unresolved emotions are being held in the body, it's actually impacting your body. And it's impacting the pregnancy, right? So think of this as the stuff or the soup that your baby is swimming in, right? Think of this as the environment that's helping to build your baby's everything, right? And so for babies that are born in situations where there is stress, where there is fear, where there is a high level of anxiety, there's research that shows that they're more likely to be born with ADHD. There's research that shows that they're more likely to have challenges later in life, such as Alzheimer's. There's research that shows that they're more likely to be born with a low birth weight, and they're more likely to be born premature. And prematurity is one of the main causes of infant mortality. I'm saying this not to add more stress and worry and fear, right? And this is the only time when I actually want to talk about this. And I'm only naming that because this isn't a subject that should be overlooked, right? It isn't something that we should dismiss as being unimportant. Our bodies, mind, body, and spirit, connected, one unit, one entity. And so if there are thoughts or emotions that are in the body and are out of balance, those thoughts and emotions are impacting the physical body, right? So I want to start there, right? That what you're holding in your body has huge potential to impact your pregnancy and can therefore impact your baby, right? And it might be impacting you in certain ways. So you might notice tightness, tension, different physical things might be showing up in your body as a result of the fear, the anxiety, the stress, the worry. But I think as adults, we learn to adapt to it. We learn to overlook it so that we might not even notice it, right? But imagine a soul coming in, a baby coming in that is super, super sensitive. Imagine the impact that that has on the baby, right? So I want us to be aware of that. So that's a pregnancy stage. Moving into the childbirth stage, there is more that happens in this stage. So imagine where you are right now in your body. There might be fear, uncertainty, anxiety. And so this is how you're moving into the world, right? But because your world is mostly familiar, you're still able to operate at a capacity that is okay, right? You know how to get to work, you know how to move around in your home, you know how to get groceries. In the midst of childbirth, it's a very different experience, right? So you might be in an environment that you're less familiar with if you're giving birth in a hospital or at a birthing center. Even if you're giving birth at home, the birthing experience is one that has a lot of uncertainty. It's one in which our bodies actually need to surrender to the process. It's one in which there has to be trust in the body, right? And so, if the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the uncertainty, the fear that your body might fail you or you might fail your baby, if all of those things are in the space while you're trying to give birth, it makes it a really complicated process. And there's also research that shows that whenever someone has gone through any kind of trauma, it doesn't have to be birth trauma, but kinds of trauma in their life that disconnect them from their body, where they hold fear or a sense of being a victim, right? Or not being in their power, or even the opposite of that, right? Like really having a lot of fight in you because you have been victimized. So whenever those imbalances are living in the body, they show up in childbirth and they impact the process. It makes it more likely for complications to be a part of the childbirth process, right? So I have often said that in the childbirth process, in the process of giving birth, it's as though everything comes to a climax. Everything is more intense. So if there's fear, if there's worry, if there is blame, if there's shame, if there's guilt, whatever those emotions are, they come to a climax while you're giving birth. And really, what needs to happen is for you to be able to surrender to the process, to trust your body and those around you, including your partner. When you are scared out of your mind and out of your body, it's hard to do that, which means that there's often tightness, constriction in the body, which makes it a different process for allowing your baby to flow, allowing for that process to move smoothly. Okay, so that's a childbirth process. If there is anything that happens in the childbirth process that doesn't go according to how you would have wanted it to go, or that doesn't go according to how society says it should go, right? Let's say that you planned for a natural birth or you planned for a vaginal birth, but you had a C-section, just an example, right? Let's say that that is the outcome. What I usually see is that there's a lot of shame and guilt and a sense of failure that the birthing person lives with, right? And so imagine entering into parenthood with this feeling in your body as though you have failed. as though you are less of a mother, less of a parent, as though you should have done something different for the outcome to be different, right? So I'm naming all of these things, and it starts with the fear, the anxiety, the uncertainty that is being held in the body in this moment, right? So this is why it's really important to have practices around identifying what we're holding, what's in your body right now as you're pregnant. Being able to identify those and having the tools and the practices to release them, because they can certainly be released. You can identify triggers, release them, and have techniques around them to deal with them the next time they show up. You can identify what stress looks like in your body, what fear, what uncertainty, what anxiety looks like in your body, and use tools to move through them. And the reason why it's so powerful to have these practices before going into the birthing room is that they get to be in your body. You get to embody them, you get to practice them, you get to have them live in your cells and your bones and your muscles. So that as you're moving through the pregnancy and when it's time to give birth, you can quickly call upon these practices. You can depend on the trust that you have in your body, because over time, you are building in this trust in your body. That's how powerful these exercises can be. Okay, so 2 sessions, one on July 20th, that's a Wednesday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This session is for women or femmes who are pregnant. Session 2 happens on Saturday, July 30th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. This session is for everyone, right? So if you're the person who's pregnant, you're welcome to come. If your partner wants to join you, please have your partner come, because it's so important that they're a part of the conversation as well. Because when you get to surrender in the birthing room, the only way that is happening for you to surrender to your body, surrender to the process, and for you to be in your body is because of the support that you have around you. And so if your partner can't be in tune with you, if you're not able to lean on your partner, if your partner doesn't have the same information that you have, it makes it a different process, right? You want both of you to be on the same page. And so the same information that I share with you, I want to share that with your partner as well, so that they can track your body, tune into your body, support you, be with you, have your back. And I want your partner to be able to identify what's showing up in their body, right? Where is the fear, the anxiety, the worry, or the need to protect? And if this need to protect goes in overdrive and they're not able to think clearly, how does that change how they show up, how they support you, right? It's really complex, but we get to make it a beautiful and empowering experience. And even before getting into the birthing room, right now in your pregnancy, how are ways that you and your partner can begin connecting with the baby? If there's fear around that, then that's something to look at, right? If there's fear around connecting with the baby because there is worry that the pregnancy might end in a loss, or that there might be some complication or some challenge, which is so understandable, right? Considering the journey that you've been on. But again, what is the impact of fear in the body? What is the impact of anxiety in the body on your body, right? And on the baby? So might there be a middle ground? Might there be some sweet spot where even if it doesn't feel as though you can fully dive in and connect with the baby, there's an opening where you can start some connection that still feels safe, some connection that still feels good, right? So there's a lot that we're going to be covering in the 90 minutes. You'll also have the opportunity to ask questions. If you'd like to join both sessions, you actually can, because they're each going to be a little bit different. While I will be covering some basic principles, each of them will be a slightly different experience based on the questions that are asked, based on who shows up. And that's another point too. You get to be able to connect with other people who are on this journey, right? So, as well meaning and supportive as your friends and family members might be, you still might feel alone. You still might feel as though they don't fully understand you. And so, by being in the workshop this month, you get to connect with other parents, other moms, other um, people who have had a loss or an infertility diagnosis or a difficult pregnancy and are here on the journey again, right? You get to have them form a part of your community, right? So there's so much that we're going to be covering, and I'm so excited to welcome you to the space. I'm excited to share these tools with you that are easy to grasp and easy to work through once you understand the impact that they have on the body, and once you're actually able to practice them. Okay, so right below this video, you'll find information to sign up. You can also head to the events page on my website. So that is nataliefacey.com/events. And it will lead you directly to the events, each of them. If you'd like to sign up for one or both, they're both donation based, which means that whatever you have, whatever is accessible for you, you can actually RSVP, secure your spot, and pay any donation that feels accessible, right? So, looking forward to seeing you. If there are any questions that you have at all, send me an email. My email is hello@nataliefacey.com. You can also find me on Instagram. The Instagram page is @TheBirthWarriors. All right, I look forward to seeing you then.